Good morning. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your day. We are talking about extreme ownership, the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, and we're up to chapter 9. We're nearly finished with the book. Chapter 9, there is 12 chapters, and chapter 9 is about planning. I think this is really important. And it has a great checklist for anyone that is planning to do anything with business or in your personal goals or things in general you want to accomplish. It's a great checklist. We'll get to that. But first, let's go over a little bit what it talks about in the chapter for planning. Planning, it says, giving frontline ownership of even a small piece of the plan gives them buy-in and ownership of the overall goal. So it talks a little bit about how those that were in the military went and did particular missions, and when it was their time to come home, a lot of the people that had been included in the bigger plan, the bigger picture, were more of the people that wanted to be on board for the next mission or wanted to stay longer. And then those that were disengaged, they were just there and ready and being told what to do and weren't part of the plan, were less likely to come back or less likely to be involved in the future. So I think that's really important at any level, that we include those that are participating in the overall goal, even if it's first responders or anyone in a lower position, that they're part of it as well. Give them some buy-in. Planning is achievement orientated. Share the responsibility for creating the plan, even giving them an ability to plan part of this responsibility that they have. That's also key, I think, would be important. We should check the resources at our disposal to help with the goal or the mission, and scrutinize factors that come in that might pin the mission down or the risks involved. So now we're looking at problem solving things that could possibly come up. We're looking at things that could pin it down, like we're being a little bit too detailed in one particular spot for this goal. It says, what's most important, though, is to have a plan that is simple and clear. The objective should be easily understood from the top down. We're talking about the guys that may not have all the information from a higher level management perspective. Those guys at the front end, the guys that get sent out, those are told what to do. They need to have it explained to them, just like you're explaining it from top to bottom. Everyone should be clear on the plan, and that it should be easily repeated back so that they can reiterate back to them. Okay, this is the plan. I understood. This is how we're going to go about it. This is my part of the plan, and this is why this part's important. I think that planning is, like the old saying goes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. There is a couple of questions on the activity sheet that I have for this chapter. One is, what do you think of the leadership checklist? And I'm going to include the leadership checklist. It's about 10 or 11 items. I'll just go it through really quickly. Analyze the mission. So what is the intent of the leader and what is the end goal? Identify personnel, assets, resources, and time available, all important things. Decentralize the planning process, so empowering your leaders at all levels to have some part of the plan. Empower key leaders to develop the plan and select a course of action. Plan for possible unforeseen events through each phase of the plan. So there's always things that you can brainstorm with other people to be like, well, what have we seen before that we didn't know that was going to come up, and how can we learn from that? Also, alleviate risks that be controlled as much as possible. So if we know that there's some definite risks involved, if it's heading towards this particular direction, what can we do to avoid that or alleviate that? Delegate parts of the plan and clearly explain it to the junior leaders. We talked about that part. Continually check and question the plan against emerging changes. There's always going to be changes happening while you're trying to accomplish a goal, depending on your time frame. is what you're doing as the plan still relevant? There were parts in the book where it talks about how missions changed and they had to change a directive. They had to change a little bit of what they were doing as part of the plan. Then brief the plan to all participants. So going over all of it, ask questions, engage in discussion, right? It shouldn't just be a dictatorship. It should be collaborative. We should involve those that are in the plan at all levels, engage in discussion, interaction, ensure that everyone understands. And then at the end, perform post-operational debrief. So after it's complete, after you've completed whatever it was that you were trying to achieve, let's look back and see, what did we learn? What can we implement for the future? How can we do a little better? Or what are some of the things that came up maybe that we didn't think of that we can look towards as change for our next plan or our next mission or our next goal? So I think that particular list of things, no matter what organization you're in or what you're doing, if it's personal goals, I'll add it in the post as well as the comments. We'll have the activity sheet. Any organization, Jocko Willink, he was top in the military and was giving advice to the Secretary of Defense. And they've gone through all sorts of different scenarios where he has been implementing and showing skills and of leadership. Like this is world-class stuff. So this top 10, top 11 things as part of a checklist to go through as far as how you're planning is key. Any company could learn from it. So I would look at this, and then our last one here, it talks about how, have you seen similarities in the planning process, this planning checklist, in your organization? I have seen parts of the list implemented. I'd love to see more of it implemented in organizations. I think that would be much more effective. And that goes for anywhere that I've worked. But seeing that we can implement these things and taking a look at them, I would love to do that more. Keep planning and keep winning. So we've got to look at the plan. We've got to make sure we can go through that checklist, improve it if we can. That's how we win. Otherwise, if you're looking at a plan in general, remember, if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. So let's make sure we have good plans. Keep planning, keep winning. Hope you have an incredible Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you later. We'll see you. Bye.